One of the other things talked about was about the fundamentals. I'm going to go over you there, Doug. You spent almost your entire career in special operations, and though a young officer does not come right out of flight school and go to the 160th, the 160th still uses kind of a model of the Green Platoon in order to make sure that everybody has the right fundamentals, baseline everybody. This new model, that we're going to talk about, this flight school next, what are you looking for as an operator from the program?
The 160th has the same warfighting functions that the Army has. They just do it with different resources, and they do it with habitual relationships with the ground force. The repetition, you just get better and better at a certain task. One thing that has impressed me, that now working with Bell, that Bell not only has decades of experience on instructional, you can't reinvent fundamentals of flight. You can't reinvent fundamentals of instruction, but what the Army is asking is to incorporate warfighting functions. And so that's the difference between a civilian aviator and an Army aviator or a military aviator, is that they have warfighting functions embedded into the training. And so from day one, instructional flight will incorporate getting into those advanced aircrafts and how to fly and fight at the same time. But if the basics aren't embedded based on the airframe or the instruction, as an evaluator during assessments in the 160th, you'd get a basic aviator that really went through a type of airframe, basic instruments and basic initial inter-rotor wing. They didn't have those core values of auto rotation, quick reaction to a tail rotor failure or engine failure, things that are life-saving. There was a point there was no time to teach the basics in special operations. And in an Army aviator's career, they're going to be flying an advanced aircraft that they become mission managers. And so their core basics of fundamentals of flight, basic reactions and airmanship, has to be established right off the bat. They also had either negative habit or positive habit transfer. What I mean by that is if in the airframe itself, to include the instruction that came with it, was not intuitive, or if it was opposite of what's in the Army Enduring Fleet right now. I have flown aircraft that the rotors spin in different directions, but if I didn't have the experience to apply the correct yaw, you'd have to think about it. They have to think about what they're doing. So if they're having to think, that's called interference. So anytime that interference is injected into an aviator's career, it's going to create risk. When there's so much interference, that leads into human error. And so with interference of having to then train on one type of aircraft that flies differently, then you get into the Army fleet, and it flies differently, that's interference. The other part is not just yaw, basic how the aircraft is configured, how it flies. In the Army, will be very welcoming back to the basics where we had UH-1s, TH-67s, even beyond that, earlier than that. They were all similar flying aircraft, but very basic, so they can focus on meteorology, they can focus on the weather patterns, basic instruments, all the things, and not have to think about flying because it's so intuitive. I know Army Aviation is trying to get after that, and they want to have the best solution. And I know Bell has the ability to train, the ability to have the most advanced trainer in the world, and incorporate those warfighting functions.